What's up, guys? It's DarkArmedDuelist, and today I'm back here with Silver, and we're going to get straight on into this, guys, but don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and definitely hit that bell in there so you can come part of our notification squad. And do you have any shout-outs, Silver?
Shout out, of course, to my channel, SilverTCG. Shout out to, of course, you for allowing me to be on the channel. And then, of course, shout out to Bud's Place for letting us film here every single week. So that's just really awesome that we have a place to do this.
Absolutely. Best locals ever. So let's go ahead and get straight on this, and definitely check out SilverTCG down in the pinned comment. So let's go ahead and get straight on into the deck. This deck is awesome.
Alright, so of course, starting off, you do run 3 copies of Kozmo Tin Can. Tin Can just says that during the end phase, you can pay 500 life points to reveal 3 Kozmo cards with different names, and your opponent randomly picks one and adds it to your hand. If this card allowed you to just reveal 3 of the same card, it would be a little bit too busted, but
yeah,
honestly, I do like this card and the amount of randomness that it does have.
It's so good.
It keeps your opponent guessing, keeps you guessing. Continuing on, we do run 2 copies of Strawman. Strawman just says, pay 500 life points to special summon a banished Kozmo monster, so therefore you can just use this to be able to bring cards back out. Also, one thing that you guys will notice about all of the psychic monsters in this deck is they all have effects that allow you to tag them out for a higher leveled Kozmo, so therefore this can get you 2 or higher, this can get you 3 or higher, and so on and so forth. Continuing on, we do run 1 copy of Farm Girl. Honestly, I think you should only run 1 copy in this deck.
Totally agree.
Because it does require you to deal damage with this card by battle, so really, like, to be able to get the search. But it does search a Kozmo if it deals damage.
That's pretty good, though.
It really is. Continuing on, we do run 1 copy of Sword Trooper. Sword Trooper just says pay 1,000 life points to Monster Reborn a Kozmo. So that gets you your cards back in circulation. Then we do run 1 copy of Kozmo Good Witch. Good Witch, you can pay 1,000 life points to keep it from being destroyed by battle or by card effects. So you can just sit on this if you have to in defense position, constantly keep it like undestroyable, and you can pretty much just keep
that. Like Wicked Witch is my favorite one of all the pilots, because Wicked Witch, like, you just throw it in defense and it's just indestructible. Like, it can stall out and like wait for a while, like till you get exactly what you need, which makes it just so good.
Exactly. And then to wrap up the pilots, I do run 1 copy of Kozmo Dark Lady. Kozmo Dark Lady just says that whenever your opponent activates a monster effect, you can pay 1,000 life points to negate that monster's effect, which is just really good. And
it's just really good.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything else I really need to say about that.
Just a walking monster negate every turn.
It really is, and it's really good. Continuing on into the ships.
Walking MST.
Walking MST. So pretty much this card just says that when this card is summoned, you can then pop 1 spell or trap on the field, which you can also pop your own card, so it allows you to be able to pop your Kozmo Town, just to get a little bit of more advantage off the effect of Kozmo Town, but we'll go over that in just a bit.
I'd definitely play 3 of that. I would
yes.
definitely, with so many back row decks running right now.
I've seriously seen people only running 2 copies of this card, and it frustrates me because we can actually run cards in the extra deck that allow you to get even more advantage on your opponent just because these are level 5.
Yeah, it's a level 5 machine too, which is what's really nice. All of the ships are actually machines, guys. And this cool thing about all the ships that I love is that if they get destroyed by battle or by card effect, then you get to special summon a level lower than them, like level 4 or lower, for example, with Slip Rider, which is just so cool, directly from your deck. Like, that's such a cool effect. Like, they all float. All the ships literally float.
Exactly. Continuing on, we do run only 1 copy of Forerunner. Only reason why we run Forerunner is because it says that once per turn during your standby phase, you can just gain 1,000 life points. Which, I mean, it's alright. It's not the best, but it just gives you just a little bit more life points to be able to play around with.
Forerunner for time.
Exactly. But honestly, if you're playing this deck and going to time, you're pretty much going to lose. Yeah,
you're going to lose.
Continuing on, we do run 3 copies of Dark Destroyer. Dark Destroyer allows you to be able to destroy 1 monster on the field whenever this card is summoned. So that is really good, just being able to help clear out your opponent's cards. Also, you can pretty much just summon these on your opponent's turn using some of the cards in this deck. So you can just use this as disruption as well.
It's really good. Like, that card is insane.
It really is.
It's like the best ship.
Then continuing on, we do run 1 copy of Dark Eclipser.
It's the worst one. It's the worst one.
No, the planet is the worst one.
Yeah, that's fair.
But the reason why this is run is it allows you to be able to get to negate trap cards. But this also says that instead of special summoning from the deck, it does add to the hand, which is a bit worse.
I really wish it didn't. I really wish it just specialed.
For sure.
It's so bad compared to the Dark Destroyer, but you got to play it at 1.
Exactly. You have to play this at 1.
And it's the coolest looking one.
It really is, but it's just not. It's not good. Then we just run the Celestial and the Dasher.
Oh, you're doing this?
Yes.
Okay.
So we do run DP in this deck, so these are the main 2 targets. I feel like I don't really need to go over these all too much.
No.
Everybody knows what those do, especially from a couple formats ago. Then moving on into the spells, we do run 3 copies of Cosmotown. So Cosmotown just says that once per turn, you can target one of your banished Cosmo monsters, return it to the hand, and if you do, lose life points equal to that monster's original level times 100. Then the second effect of this card, because it has multiple effects, says that once per turn, you can reveal any number of Cosmo monsters from your hand, shuffle them into the deck, then draw the cards equal to that number, shuffle them into the deck.
It basically mulligans.
It literally mulligans. It's like that one Flounderies card, the map.
Yeah. No. The Unexplored Wins.
Yes, Unexplored Wins.
It's wins.
And then the last effect says that if this card in the field zone is destroyed by a card effect, you can add 1 Cosmo card from your deck to your hand.
So even if your opponent MSTs it or hits it with a Feather Duster, you're just getting a search.
Exactly. Or if you really need the search, you can just pop it yourself.
Yeah, you can. That's
Especially
really cool.
if you're going first and you just have to pop something. Popping Cosmotown just gets you a lot of advantage. Yeah. Then continuing on, we do run 3 copies of Emergency Teleport because obviously we run a bunch of level 3 or lower psychics.
Yeah, you can even summon Sword Trooper off of that too.
True.
Yeah, you can summon Sword Trooper. There's 7 targets in the deck for it.
There really is, and it's insane.
Yeah.
Don't need to go over that anymore, I don't think. And then we do run 3 copies of Extravagance. Honestly, you can run Prosperity. I'm thinking about running Prosperity because I'm not running the second copy of DPE. If y'all have access to multiple DPEs, I would definitely run this. But if y'all only can access the one or y'all don't really care about playing the DPE, then definitely running the Extravagance is the better option because it allows you to draw more cards.
Yeah, it's kind of a budget option too. You really can play Prosperity or you can play Extravagance, whichever way.
Exactly. And then, of course, we do run the 3 Fusion Destinies.
Yeah.
Just
summon DPE.
That's it. Continuing on, we do run 3 copies of Time Tearing Morganite.
Ooh.
So for those who don't know what this card does, it came out in Cyberstorm Access. This card just says that until the end of the duel, you're allowed to draw 2 cards during the draw phase, and you can normal summon twice per turn.
That's insane.
This card also has an effect that, in the graveyard, this card says that you can banish this card from your grave, then discard 1 Time Tearing Morganite, and then your opponent cannot activate monster effects when you normal summon this turn. So it does give you that built-in protection when you normal summon.
Yeah, the only downside is it makes it so that you can't play hand traps because it makes it so you can't activate monster effects in the hand, which is literally the only downside.
Yeah, that's the only reason why we're not running. Honestly, when I first built this deck without the Morganite, I did run cards like Lord of the Heavenly Prison, but without with this card in the deck, you cannot play that card.
Yeah. You don't need it anymore.
Exactly. And then continuing on into the traps, we do run 2 copies of Cosmojo. Cosmojo just says that you can target 1 Cosmo monster you control, destroy it, and if you do, banish 1 card your opponent controls, and that is in their graveyard. So really, this card is mainly just in here because you can pop your ships to be able to special summon back, as well as just get rid of a card your opponent controls.
It's spot removing.
Exactly. I'm going to leave that down because I do have a reason. But continuing on, we do run 2 copies of Back to the Front.
Oh, I know what you're doing.
Exactly. So you run 2 copies of Back to the Front because this is what allows you to be able to bring back your Destroyer or your Slip Rider back from the graveyard to be able to destroy cards on your opponent's turn, which is just really insane. Even if you, if your opponent outs, let's say your copy of Cosmo Dark Lady, where is she? There she is. But let's say you use the effect negation, because this is a soft once per turn, you can just Back to the Front, summon this back out, you get another negation.
Yeah, you can. Because they're all soft once per turn.
Exactly.
They're made in Arc 5 era. They're all soft once per turns.
Exactly. And then the reason why we run 2 of each is we do run 2 copies of Trap Trick.
Ah, there it is.
So pretty much if you have Trap Trick, you have instant access to both of these.
Yeah, you do.
So it's just really insane.
You only get 1 trap for the rest of the turn after you activate it, but that's fine.
Oh, yeah.
You're only going to need 1.
You really will. And then we do run 2 copies of Skill Drain.
Just the 2?
I think this deck is currently a 42, I could be wrong, 42 card list. And I don't like going over that unless I'm going to go like the full 50, 60 card decks.
Yeah.
So I just decided to only run 2 copies.
Well, plus you're playing Morganite.
Exactly.
And you're playing Extravagance. So,
Exactly.
I mean,
you're more than
gonna
likely
hit
gonna
it.
get it.
Yeah, you're gonna hit it.
Exactly.
So I understand that. It makes sense.
So moving on into the extra deck, we do run 3 copies of Cyber Dragon Nova because, as I said, the Slip Riders are level 5 machines.
Those are some nice supers.
I like the supers. Honestly, I really like the super for this card.
I like the super too.
And then, of course, I'm going to do the YouTuber thing and have mismatched rarities and artworks.
Oh, no! Don't do that! Don't do that! There's an ultra secret and an alt art. What are you doing? What are you doing?
Honestly, I just couldn't afford to max out the secret.
You could have got all ultras.
YouTube's not paying me yet. But no, I ended up getting this from a structure deck a long time ago. I got this from the legendary Dragon decks, and then I pulled that from the what is it? Dual
That's
Overload?
the alternative art. I think it's like Dual Overload or something like that.
But so the reason why we run these at multiple numbers is, of course, for the extravagance. But just being able to set up Nova into infinity and be able to take cards from your opponent as well as just Omni Negate is just really insane for this deck.
And what art is your favorite, guys? Comment that down below. Mine is actually the alternative.
Really? My
like the
favorite's
alternative.
the original.
I like the alt art.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Continuing on, I do run 1 copy of Dingirsu to kind of be there just as a banish. Just banish your opponent's card.
Yep.
It's just pretty good. And then I do run 1 copy of Double A Zeus. Honestly, if you're going to run this deck, especially in today's format with the extravagance, I would definitely probably just cut another card. It doesn't have to be the Dingirsu, but you do want to run multiples of this card as well.
Oh, yeah. Cashier is a thing.
Exactly. Cashier is a thing. And then, of course, the extravagance. You just really want to run more copies. I'll show you guys what I would cut personally in just a moment. But then, of course, I do run the Destroy Phoenix Enforcer for the DPE engine. Moving on into the links, I do run 2 copies of Soldier of Chaos. Because we can easily just set up level 8s to make this card just really insane, hard to get over, and it's just worth running.
Curiosity about that card. Would you consider cutting it if you had more copies of DPE to play like 3 DPE in here if you're playing the Extrav?
Honestly, I really like that card. It does come up in some pretty fun interactions with with my opponents. But I will show you guys what I would cut to max out on the DPE.
Okay.
Continuing on, I do run 1 copy of IP Masquerena and Unicorn just to be able to, on my opponent's turn, just shuffle a card back into their deck, which is just really powerful.
Yeah.
And then for the Link 4s, I just run the copy of Appaloosa and the Access Code Talker, just to be able to help close out games and set up multiple negations. More than likely, you're not going to go into Appaloosa, so this is probably one of the cards that I would cut. Because, yes, you're going to be summoning a decent amount of times. You're just not going to be able to have enough board presence to be able to go into Appaloosa. Access Code is a bit more of an investment, but with the Masquerena and the Unicorn, you should be able to go into it not too difficultly.
No, I get that. So what would you cut for that for the extra DPEs?
So for the extra DPEs, I would probably honestly just cut some of these links. Because, as I said, you're not really going to go into Appaloosa that much. So I would cut that for a second. And
you could probably cut all 4 and then play like double Zeus. Yeah, you can play double Zeus.
So you can put 3 copies of Zeus, 3 copies of the DPE. Or if you want to go like 2 copies of Zeus, 2 copies of Dingirsu.
Yeah, that would work.
It's really all up to you.
Yeah.
And how you feel like the deck's going to go.
I got you. Well, that's it for this one, guys. Thank you so much, Silver. Do you have any other shout-outs?
Shout out to my team, Team Shank. But I think that's it.
All right. So, anyways, guys, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Definitely check out Silver TCG down in the comments down below in the pinned comment. And go subscribe. And we'll see you guys in the next one. See you later, guys.